So, good morning, all of you. Let me add something more participants. I'm sharing my screen, okay? Let me know if it is visible or not. Okay, in the first half, we'll discuss the column and strut problems, okay? Last class, we discussed very few problems, so I thought of discussing again, as some of you have more doubts. Then in the second half, we'll discuss some questions from shear force and bending moment diagrams. Okay, so let's start with this columns and struts. Screen is visible? Okay. Okay. So a solid round bar of 60 mm dia and 2.5 meter long is used as a strut. Okay. And find the safe compression load for the strut using Euler's formula. So what was our Euler's formula? Remember? It is also called as crippling load, collapsing load on the column, which is P is equal to pi square EI by L square. It was like this. Okay. If you go back to your previous class, the formula for Euler's load or crippling load, it was pi square EI by L square. So first of all, write all the given. Length is 2.5 meters. So convert the unit into mm. The diameter is given to you 60 mm. Young's modulus is given 2 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per mm square. And as it is circular section, right? As it is a circular section, so what will be the I value? It will be pi d4 by 64, right? So for the for the circular section, your I is pi d4. Recall all the last classes I have discussed. For rectangular, it will be I will be bd cube by 12, right? So like that, for circular section, I is pi d4 by 64. So place the value of diameter here, you will get the I value. And one factor of safety is given. So first of all, I have wrote all the given. Then I'll use these conditions. What are the conditions given? Number one is both ends are hinged. Second condition is given both ends are fixed. So what will be the effective length for both end hinge? For the both end hinge, our effective length will be L is equals to for effective length for both ends hinge, your effective length is simply L, right? So you can do one thing. So the formula will remain same, pi square EI by L square, the general formula, right? So put the values of E, I, and L. You'll get the value of crippling load. Now we know factor of safety. Factor we have one formula. Factor of safety is crippling load by safe load, right? So we have been given FOS and we have found out the PCR, so we can find out the safe load. PCR divided by FOS will give you safe load. So you need to remember this formula. Rest if what you have to place the values and you'll get the answer. So crippling load divided by sector of safety, you'll get the safe load. Okay, so this one was easy. Now let's see the next condition. Both ends are fixed. So when both ends are fixed, your condition for effective length is L by 2. Okay, it is L by 2. So if I place here pi square EI, please mute yourself. Someone has unmuted them. L by 2. Unmute yourself, please. Someone has muted. Please unmute yourself. Sorry, please mute yourself. Richa, mute yourself. Licha, mute yourself. Okay, I'm sharing. I'm sharing once again. Okay. Okay. Screen is visible. I've shared once again. So for both and fixed, your LE is L by 2, right? So if you place pi square EI by L by 2 whole square, right? So 2 to 4. So this 4 will come to here and it will be removed. So our formula will become 4 pi square EI by L square. So place the values in the equation. In the equation, you'll get the answer. Again, to find the safe load, PCR by factor of safety. So understood any issue in this problem? It's a simple question. They have given you the condition and they have asked you to find out the PCR, crippling load, or you can say safe load value. Now let's see the next question. What is the ratio of the strength of a solid steel column of 150 mm diameter to that of a hollow circular steel column of the same cross-sectional area? And wall thickness is given. That means you have been given a hollow, a solid steel circular column is given, and one is hollow. Okay, one is hollow. So they have asked you to find out the ratio of strength. Strength of this divided by strength of this. And this strength means you have to compare the I value. Okay, you have to compare the I versus P value for both the sections. So see, only one diameter is given. Only one diameter is given, and along with that, a thickness is given. So what you can find? You can find the external and internal diameter. Okay, you have to find out this diameter will use to find out the I value of solid column. You can find the I value of external column once you have found out the internal and external diameter. Let's see what are the givens first. So diameter of circular column is given 150 mm. You can find out the cross sectional area pi by 4 d square. Okay. Next, let the thickness of circular column be t equals to 15 mm. This value is given. Let external diameter of hollow circular column be d. This is not given to us. We have been given a particular diameter plus thickness. So we can find out the, let's assume our external, it is not said that this d is also external. It is said that the steel column is of this diameter. So we'll use this some relations to find out the external and internal diameter of this hollow section. Okay. So its internal diameter is assumed as d minus twice t. Earlier, what we used to do, we used to find the external diameter like this, d plus twice of t, right? So we can find internal diameter as capital D minus twice t, right? So same way. So they have assumed its internal diameter is d minus twice t. So d minus thickness is 15. So this is my internal diameter. So cross sectional with external and internal diameter will be pi by 4 d square minus internal diameter square. So it is said that in the question, if you see that the area of the steel column and hollow section is same. So equate the area of both the sections, you'll get the d value. So from this d value, you can find the external diameter will be same 390, internal diameter is 360 mm. Okay. So once we have got the d, we can find the value of I. For simple circular column, it is pi d4 by 64, and for hollow, it is pi d4 5 by 64 external diameter to the power 4 minus internal diameter to the 4. Understood? Any confusion in this part? Please type in the chat box. Any issue in this starting part? Let me know in the chat box, please. Any confusion, please ask from this part. Have you understood? Please type in the chat box. Don't unmute. Okay. So see, one complete solid steel bar is given to you. Okay, its diameter is given 150 mm. Done. Another hollow steel is given to you. Its diameter is not given, but the thickness is given, which is 15. Okay. For this hollow steel, you can directly find the I value by pi d4 by 64 using this formula. Okay. For the solid steel, diameter is given, which is 150 mm. You can directly use the formula pi d4 by 64 to find out the I value. Done. Remove this part. Forget about this part. Okay. Let's concentrate on the hollow section. In the hollow section, only thickness is given. So how will you find the external and internal diameter? And before that, you should know why you need external and internal diameter. Because for hollow section, we know for hollow section, I value, you can find the I value pi by 64, capital D4 minus small d4. This capital D4 is external diameter and this small d is your internal diameter, right? So you don't have these diameters, only the thickness is given, which is 15 mm. So let's consider the external diameter as dmm and internal diameter as we know, to find out the external diameter, what we used to do, d plus twice of t, right? So to consider the internal diameter, we can do that d minus twice of t. So external diameter I have considered as dmm, internal diameter I have considered as d minus twice t. Okay, and the cross sectional area, we know how to find the cross sectional area, pi by 4 d square. Now we have 2d, so 1 d square minus external d square minus internal diameter square. So in the question it is given the cross sectional area are same cross sectional area. See, this is the condition. Same cross-sectional area. So the area of the steel column and the hollow section will be equal. So we'll equate the area. So after equating, I got D equals to 390. So I've considered the external diameter as capital D. So this will be my external diameter. Internal diameter I have considered, which is D minus twice of T. So D is 390 minus twice of T, that's 2 into 15, 30. So I got 360. Once I got external and internal diameter, I can find the I value for this section, pi by 64, external diameter to the 4 minus internal diameter to the 4. This is the I value. Done. Now you need to find the crippling load for both the conditions. Pi square EI, as this is the simple condition they have given. The two columns have the same length and similar end conditions. What is the ratio of strength and strain? Okay, both ends are hinge, I guess. So this is the crippling load formula. Pi square E and L will be same because same length and length. So you have to compare only I values. So compare the I values. This is the ratio of I, strength ratio. Okay. Next, try this one. Read the question and try this one. Find the Euler's crushing load. Same PCR you need to find for a hollow cylinder cast iron column. 120 length is given to you. External diameter. Okay, 120 mm is external diameter and 20 mm is thick. and 4.2 meter is long, and the condition is given hinge at both ends. E value is given to you. Okay. Compare this load with the crushing load. Okay. Just till here you find the, consider this as the equation, so this as the question, and find the Wheeler's crushing load for this value. External diameter is 120 mm, thickness is 20 mm, and 4.2 meter long. And condition is given to you, hinge at both ends. So for this, please find out the P value and type in the chat box. I'm giving you 3 minutes. 3 minutes is more than enough. Find out the value of P and let me know in the chat box. 42 students. No need to write the question, just write the values and find out the P value and let me know. Just you have to place the, you need to first find out the I value and put in the, place in the equation. Likha, good. 37.59. What about the others? Tell me the answer first. Only few students. We should sit with pen and paper. So either mug up the I values for different plane figures and some I section, H section, or try to understand how to find the I values. Okay, either mug up or you understand. Very important for this chapter, I value, to find, to know the I, how to find the I value. Once you know the formula, you can easily find. For plane figures, it is same. It will be same throughout this question. You may get a section of I, you may get a section of H, so you should know how to find the I value for those sections. Okay. Yes, tell me the answer. Rupashri, mute yourself. Only Likha replied. What about others? Vidushmita, Rupashri, what happened? Not understood? Atul, Bamam, Ishan, Pankaj, Rohini, what happened? Okay, I'm sharing the answer. So external diameter is given, thickness is also given. You can find the internal diameter, capital T minus dt. Right? Same. You can find the I value, place the value, hinge as the columns is hinge at both ends, so effective length will be the same L. Place the values in the I, you will get this answer. So it is also correct for if you consider Rekha is a bit wrong in the place of they have converted it in Newton. Okay. So there must be a calculation mistake, otherwise it will be fine. So once you find out the crippling load, okay, till this is the answer. Very easy question. So all the values is given. You just need to find out the internal diameter, find out the I value, place the values in the crippling load formula pi square E by L square. As the L will be remain same, L as the both ends are hinged, the conditions will be LE equals to L, right? This part is not required as this they have solved with another formula which is also called as Rankine's formula. Part is not required. Okay, see, as I discussed, right? So this kind of section may be given to you. So what will you do? How to find the I value? So if you don't know the I value for this kind of section, if you don't know how to find the I of a particular section, you how will you solve this problem? Right? A built-up steel column is given, length is given, ends firmly fixed, is having cross-sectional area, I section is given to you. Okay? They have found out the IXX and IIY. So they have taken the minimum value. They have found out the I-axis along the x direction, when a moment of inertia about the x-axis, moment of inertia about the y-axis, and after finding out, they have taken the minimum value. Okay, place the value. After this, you don't need required K. Radius of gyration is required in Rankine's formula. In Euler's formula, you don't need the radius of gyration, right? So once you have found out the I value, you can directly put in the equation based on the conditions given to you, right? That is how it will be. The basic is you should know the condition, what condition, different effective length values, different LE values. Okay, for different conditions. There are basically four conditions, main four conditions. You should know one will be both hands fixed. Okay, one end fixed, another end free. One end fixed, another end hinged, and one will be both hands hinged. Okay, for this four condition, you should know the effective length conditions. What will be the effective length for these three conditions? This is one important thing. And another is you should know what will be the I value for different plane figures. And if you have been given some sections, you should know how to find out the I value. So for rectangular section, like this one, there will be two I along the x-axis and one along the y-axis. So you have to find along the x-axis also and y also, and you have to take the minimum of both. In the same way for I section or your S section, you need to find the I value and you have to take the minimum value. And some plane figures like square, like a circle, square, the formula is same. Okay, like this pi d4 square, pi d4 by 64 like that. So first is you should know the Christina, mute yourself. So the basic is you should know the conditions of the length of effective length. You should know the I value, and the last you should know the formula of this formula. E will be given to you most of the time. Pi square E I by L square. Easy. You should know the length, conditions, length, I, and this. These three things are needed to solve the problem based on Euler's formula. And this P is also called as Euler's crippling load or collapsible load. Okay, don't confuse with that. So any issue? regarding these type of problems. There may be a twist of this internal and external diameter. So once you see this problem once more solved by yourself, then you will understand clearly. So any issue regarding this chapter? This is the last class I am discussing this numericals based on your Euler's formula or Euler's crippling load. Any issues? Raju, no ma'am. Why you have not answered my question? Anyways, write your roll numbers in the chat box. Till then, I'll share the next screen. Write your roll numbers in the chat box till I share the next screen. Anyone left to write? Okay. I'm sharing my screen. Let me know if it is visible or not. Okay. Is it visible? The screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, see. A mild steel tube, same 4 meter long, internal diameter is given, 4 mm thickness is given. And condition is both hand hinged, both hands built in, that means fixed, and one hand is built in and another hand free. So first they have wrote the given, then external diameter they have found out, E value. See, in this question they have not given you E value. So you should know the E, this is a general thing that you should know the E value for steel or a concrete also. Okay. Now MOI of the column will be pi 64 D4 by 4. They found out the I value. Length was given in meter. They have converted in centimeter. Internal diameter of tube is given as 3 centimeters. So you have to convert all the values in one particular unit. Okay. Thickness was given 4 mm, so converted into centimeters. Now this is the external diameter of the tube. So they have placed all the values in the equation and found, they have repeated this part actually. So now the condition is both ends of the tube are hinged. So for the hinge, we know L is effective length is L. So using this, they have placed the value in this. So they have considered this as they are saying that this is the required collapsible load. So when both ends of the column are built in, that means fixed. So your effective length is L by 2. See, there is a two way to solve this problem. You can directly you can directly change the LE L by 2 here itself. Like it was 400, they have converted here 400 by 2, 200. So in the general formula, which is 5 square EI by L square, they have placed this 200 here. Okay, they have not changed the formula. There is one way you can change the formula by placing the value of L equals to L by 2, or you can do or you can do what? You can change in the first place and you can place the value here. So it's up to you how you do. Okay. Again, for one end 6 and another end 3 is effective length is L equals to twice of L. Right. So they have converted the value here itself. Then they place the value in the equation, general equation. Or you can do that, you can convert the formula and then place the value. It's up to you. Okay. See, here T section is given. Okay, so for the T section, they have found out the I x's and IYY, and they have taken the minimum value of I and placed the value of I in this general formula with the given condition. Both ends are hinged. L effective is L, right? And they have found out the value of CCI. So mainly focused, please consider the units also. Unit is very important. So these kinds of questions will come in the exam. So before that, clear your I value, mug up the end conditions, what will be the effective length, and the rest will be easy. Okay. The next class we'll discuss the shear force and bending moment diagram for some simple beams, cantilever beams and simply supported beams with two loads. Okay, there we'll get one one UDL along with one point load. Okay. Let's see. So, any confusion? Anyone left to write their roll number? Any confusion? Okay. Hope everyone wrote their roll number. I'll send the link. Join for the next class. Okay. Thank you.